Alright guys, today we're going to talk about the point-slope form. We've been talking about the slope-intercept form, and both of these forms of equations, they mean the exact same thing. They're just written a little differently. So for right now, let's try to minimize our distractions. We're going to use pencils. Get out your calculator. If you don't have a calculator, there's a Desmos calculator online, and if you Google Desmos graphing calculator online, it'll come up for you. What you need for today's lesson is a video, the guided practice, and the Google Forms assignment. Alright, let's get started. When we're looking at a point-slope form, we're really going to give you a point or a slope, and then we are going to give you a point. And all you will do at that point is you will take the slope and you'll put it in the slope position, and then you'll take the x value and you'll put it in the x position, and the y value and put it in the y value position. So you'll end up with a formula using y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus x1. So for these, if I want to identify the slope, keep in mind the slope is always going to be where this m is found. So for the first one, it is 3. Okay, and for the for the x and y values, you're going to find them right here. And so my x value here, and it's always going to be the opposite of whatever it looks like it's going to be. So my x value is 2, and my y value is, let's see, what is my y value? My y value is 4 here. Okay, now for the next one, I've got y plus 5 is equal to negative 2 times x minus 6. So for the slope, I'm going to have, let's see, what do I have? I've got negative 2. And for my points, I hope we can see that I'm looking at 6 and negative 5. So I will write down 6 and negative 5. Okay, always opposite of what it appears. Alright, so let's look at the next one. This one's odd. I do want to talk about this one. There's nothing there. There's not a number there. If there's not a number there, what do we know that number is going to be? Yeah, it's going to be 1. So my slope is negative 1 here. Alright, so that matters. And then, let's see what else I have here. My x value is going to be negative 2, because remember it's always opposite of how it appears, and my y value is going to be negative 3. And I'm done. Alright, but what if I gave you the slope and the point? Okay, so not so bad. We're still going to use this this formula, this equation here. So I'm going to do y minus y1, which is 8. So y minus 8 is equal to the slope, which I know is 3, times x minus x1, which I know is to be 4 here. All right. Let's try again. I've got y minus y1. Okay. So this is my y. This is my y here, my 9 is equal to the slope, which a little bit of a boo-boo there. There you go. The slope, which is negative 2, times x minus x1. It's always going to be opposite of what it appears. Okay? So let's try the next one. I've got y minus the y value, which is negative 6, which is, I'm going to write the opposite of what I see. So instead of writing negative 6, it's going to be positive 6, is equal to the slope, which is 1/2, times x minus, which is going to end up being positive 8, because it's always opposite of what it looks. And there you go. I've got it done. All right, let's see what we can get into for this next one. So this one looks a little bit more difficult, but it's not really. We know that I need a slope and I need a point. The problem that I have here is that I don't have the slope, but I do have 2 points. And if we remember in the last unit, we talked about how to find slope. We used the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I am going to subtract my y value. So I've got negative 6 minus 3 over 4 minus a negative 2. Okay. So negative 6 minus 3 was negative 9. I'll add the opposite here, over 6, which gives me negative 3/2. Now, does it matter which of these points that I use? Negatory. It does not matter. I'm just going to choose one and roll with it. So let's see what we got. We got y minus y1, which is 3. It's equal to the slope, which I know to be negative 3/2, times x minus, but I'm going to use the opposite of what I see, so that's going to be plus, and I'm done. And I've got it the way I want it to be. Okay, so let's do another one. I'm going to find the slope first, so I'm going to 9 minus 3 over 5 minus 1, which is 6 over 4, which is 3/2. Okay, again, does it matter which coordinate I use here? Not at all. Use the one you want. Once you solve it all down, it's going to end up being the same thing anyway. So I've got y minus y1, which is 3, is equal to the slope, which is 3/2, times x minus 1. And I'm good. All right, let's see what else we can get into. If I want to write each equation in slope-intercept form, well, so first off, I want to talk to you about what is slope-intercept form, okay? So that means I'm going to do y is equal to mx plus b. So basically, I want to solve for y, all right? So in order to do that, first thing I want to do is I want to distribute that 2 for number 10. So I've got y minus 4 is equal to 2x plus 6, okay? What's keeping the y from being alone? Well, this minus 4. So let's get it to the other side by adding 4 to both sides. And that gives me y is equal to 2x plus 10. Okay, so guys, this is the slope-intercept form of the point-slope form. These 2 equations, I'm going to do this. This equation right here and this equation right here, if I put them both in the graphing calculator, they would graph the exact same line. So I'm not making a different equation, I'm just making it look different. But it means the exact same thing. All right, let's look at number 12 here. I want to distribute that negative 2. And I've got y plus 5 is equal to negative 2x minus 6. Now I want to get that 5 over to the other side, so that y will be by itself. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. And I get y is equal to negative 2x minus 11. Now, here again, this is my equation. I want to reiterate, I think it's very important to keep saying this, that this point-slope equation and this slope-intercept form, they mean the same thing. If I graphed them both in the graphing calculator, they would be intersecting lines because they are the exact same line. Okay, let's talk about this one. If I give you the point-slope form and I just ask you, I want you to graph it. Well, that's a lot quicker than you think it might be. I need to know what my slope is, which, by the way, it's right there, so I know that it's 2. And I need a point, which, by the way, I have right here. So my x is going to be -1, and my y is going to be +3. So if I go -1 up 3, there's my point, and my slope is 2. So remember, slope is rise over run, so I'm going to go rise 2, run 1. Just so I have an extra point, I'm going to go down 2 and run 1, and then I just draw my line, and I've got a graph. Okay, I can do the same thing for number 14. My slope is -3/4, but I want to show you that. It's this right here. It's -3/4. Ooh. And my point is going to be, let's see, my x, which is -4, so it's going to be a +4 because it's the opposite of what I think I see. And then my y is +1, but it's going to be -1 because it's the opposite of what I see. So I'm going to go over 4, 2, 3, 4, down 1. Now, I have a slope of -3/4. If I go down 3 and then I go over 4, I kind of go off my grid. If y'all see this, I'm going to go off the grid. So I'm just going to do the opposite. I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go to the left 4. All right, so now I have what I need to just draw myself a little line. This is just a sketch. My drawings aren't that great. All right, now number 16, let's look at this. You figured out that you could make $50 per pool to clean the pools during the summer. You did, however, need to purchase some equipment to get started. After cleaning 3 pools, you are still down $15. And I think this word down kind of means something to us, okay? All right, so first and foremost, what is the rate of change? This means, like, how much am I going to get every time I clean a pool? Well, I'm going to get $50, okay? Now, if I want to write an equation in point-slope form, it's easy for me to see what the slope was, but what is the point? The point was the fact that I can clean 3 pools, and then, but look, I'm still going to be down $15. Well, down is a negative number, so I've got -15, okay? Now, at this point, it's easier for me to come in here and I can start putting numbers into the point-slope formula. So I put 50 in for the slope. I'm going to put 3 in for the x value, and I'm going to put 15 in for the y value. Now again, for these, if I wanted to, let's see if I want to do something here. What I want to do is I want to solve this equation in slope-intercept form, so I want to do that for you. I want to distribute my 50, so I've got y plus 15 is equal to 50x minus 150, and then I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. And I get y is equal to 50x. That's plus 15 minus 135. This is not, but this one right here is. Okay, so now I have equivalent equations. One's in point slope and one's in slope intercept. Okay, now your assignment is there's a guided practice that you're going to want to do, and there is an answer key so you can check your work, and then you have a Google Forms assignment to do. Okay, now the guided practice has 4 questions and the Google Forms assignment has 10. Okay, Make sure you get both of those done and get them turned in so that you do get credit